Hey guys, what's up? I'm sharing another story time with you today from my active addiction because the last one was received so well and I'm so appreciative, honestly. I'm gonna leave a video linked in the card above and in the description, so go ahead and watch that to get some more context about this. But you guys have asked me a couple questions about what happened after I got arrested, and I'm here to answer them. And if you didn't have any questions, I'm gonna pretend like you did and answer them anyway. Before I get into this, you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn that bell notification on, and leave me a comment. I want to know if you guys think I'm crying in this picture here. It's kind of blurry. I'll pop one over. For those of you that have been arrested, did you cry in your picture? That picture is not actually from the night I got arrested. That one is from the day I turned myself into jail, which happened almost a year later. Yeah, fun times. But yeah, so comment. Let me know. Did you cry? Yes or no? I think everybody cries at some point. It's just, did you cry in the picture or not? That's the question. Side note, I am filming on a new iPhone, and I'm sure I say this in other videos, but like, I literally don't know where the freaking camera is, so I feel like I'm looking all wonky at it, and if that's the case, it's definitely the iPhone being crazy and not me looking crazy. So yeah, let's get into this. I was charged with a felony possession with intent to deliver and a conspiracy felony possession with intent to deliver. So conspiracy is essentially just knowing, having knowledge of. Knowing that someone is breaking the law and not doing anything about it is illegal. So yeah, fun fact. I was released on my own recognizance though, and that is something that I did not know existed or could happen prior to being arrested. Like I said, I got snitched on by two of my friends, so we had undercover buys happen in my apartment, most likely when we were out of town, but not really sure the details. The arrest warrant was for the runner and my dude, and my dude was actually not there when that all went down. I don't know how he got lucky like that. He said that he lied. He said that he walked up the stairs on the second floor unit, looked in the windows and saw the cops standing around, and then decided, like, bolt to dip. No, dude. They were posted up all around outside. Like, if you had showed up, they would have found you. Because he is who they wanted. He got so lucky and he dipped town. And I have no hard feelings for him. I have no beef with him. I have nothing against him. He was always a good dude to me, so that's all that I can say. Yeah, he was a drug dealer, so he definitely paid the price too eventually. He got caught. You know, it's not like he got off scot-free. As I said in the previous video, I incriminated myself way more than I should have. I admitted to things that I didn't think I was telling on myself, but I was. Please, 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 do not talk to the police. Get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer. If you're in a situation where you have to decide, should I talk to the cops or should I not talk to the cops? You either done fucked up and it's your fault, deal with the consequences, or you didn't fuck up and you don't want to start fucking up now. Because you can say things, you can incriminate yourself even if you're not guilty. It's so easy, and things would have been so different had I not said anything, but I'm grateful for the way that they played out. So I willingly said, yes, I know who he is, I know what he's been doing, I know what this is, da-da-da. Like, yeah, that's his lockbox, that's his, you know, I didn't deny anything. And I was doing myself no favors in doing so. The cops were pretty nice, they were pretty chill. They didn't seem to be too interested in us. They really wanted to know how to get to the dude, and I wasn't gonna be able to get them, but the runner could get him. So most of the attention was given to him. I'll probably refer to him now as my co-defendant for the rest of the video because that's just how I call him. So at the time of my arrest, it was me and Greg, our co-defendant, and Greg's sister was there. And then that other dude who ran out of his underwear. Check that previous video for that story. When it was time to wrap up shop, the cops were like, okay, well, you guys have to come with us. You're in our custody, but you're not gonna leave in cuffs. We're gonna have the co-defendant go in cuffs, and you guys will just come out and get in a separate vehicle. And I mean, there's lots of reasons that could have happened. At the time, I thought it was because one of the officers happened to also be the co-defendant's foster brother, stepbrother, something like that. And then that officer also happened to be in a relationship with one of my friends who happened to have a best friend who was living in the downstairs apartment. It was just like, you know, it's a small town, and I didn't really put two and two together, but they very well could have been doing that to make it look like we weren't in trouble, and if we could have gotten them the dude, that we would have. Like, I guess they were essentially setting it up for that, but they quickly realized that that was not going to happen. So we left, not in cuffs. We walked out. We got in the vehicle. We didn't even have to get in the back seat. Like, it definitely looked like we were not being arrested. So my downstairs neighbor, was like this nice little middle-aged couple, and then a girl I went to high school with and her family. They saw me just leave, and it was very strange. Like I said, one of the police officers happened to be my co-defendant's foster brother, and he is also like one of my cousin's foster brothers. Like, they're all, it's a mess. My cousin essentially married into the family of my co-defendant. So, her husband is foster brothers with the police and foster brothers with my co-defendant. And yeah, it was fun. Side note, I ended up going to my cousin's wedding like years later with Greg. So, the officer was there. He's married to one of my friends from high school. He's the arresting officer from our case. Sadly, I mentioned that the co-defendant is no longer alive. He passed away while I was in jail on work release. So that's sad. But small town living doesn't let you escape your past. I'm trying to make it something funny out of this, but it's not funny. It sucks. Rest in peace, D. Anyway, segue. So we left the apartment and went down to the police station, and the officer had us give a written statement, and I did just that. I told the truth, and quickly the officers realized that we were just nobody. We were users, and we had an apartment that they were crashing at, and the co-defendant was more likely to be able to get in touch with someone. I couldn't get in touch with my dude. Like, I didn't even have a phone number for him, let alone the people in Baltimore. Like, they were bringing in bulk from outside of the state, and I just didn't have anything to give them. So the cops were just like, yeah, you're gonna get probation for this. It's gonna be nothing, but we have to take you to central booking. It's like, shit, okay. So at this point, I don't know if my mom knows that I've been arrested. I don't know what's going on, and we are taken to the central booking, which is like the only city around here. So it's about 45 minutes away, I think. I don't know, I'm bad with time. And it's cold. I am in like flip-flops, like those cheap Old Navy flip-flops and Bermuda shorts and like this little t-shirt tank top thing. Like, it was like tiniest little cap sleeves, and I'm looking all dolled up, I'm like cute, like full makeup, and I'm in there with some crazy looking women. And I mean, I think it was just the drunk tank, because it was getting later and later. I think at this point it's getting close to like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and women are slowly leaving. Like, I don't know if they're still seeing a judge via the teleconference, I don't know what it's called, or not at that time of night, but my hearing was set for the morning. So I was stuck to stay there all night. It sucked. Like, anytime you got up to get out of the cell, they had to put these hot pin cuffs on you, and they put them on so tight. And because I didn't have any jeans or socks or anything, like, those things were just rubbing into my skin, and I had sores, like cuts from them all over my ankles and wrists. And they didn't give me a blanket. I was forced to share another blanket. I waited. I could have shared with someone, but I waited until enough women left that I was able to take one of the blankets. But you can't even give us a blanket. Like, yes, I broke the law, but it's freezing in there. You can't give me a blanket? Like, you were gonna make me share with some people that, like, no offense, some of them are pretty dang dirty. I mean, at points in my addiction, I've been pretty dang dirty too. It was mostly chaos. You could see like across to different holding cells, and like the guys were in there. So they had me in one, Greg in another, and the co-defendant in another. And at that point, it's starting to dawn on me, it's like, God, once I think 10 o'clock came and I realized we're not seeing the judge tonight, I have to wait until the morning. And the morning means I'm going to start to be dope sick. And it just started to get overwhelming quickly. I tried to sleep on the bench. It was damn near impossible. And they don't give you pillows. They don't give you anything. They don't care about you being comfortable. You broke the law. You don't really deserve comfort, I guess. A pillow and a blanket maybe to keep you warm, I think you deserve, but whatever. So we were to meet with the judge first thing in the morning. And I remember they lined us up, and it was like Greg and I were going in. He went first, or I'm pretty sure he went first, because the judge came on the screen, reviewed all the paperwork, set the bail at $50,000, and my heart sunk. And he was about to wrap it up and say, that's it, go to county jail or whatever, and Greg's like, the officer said something about release on our own recognizance. Thank God he's smart, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I'll just include a little screen grab here that shows you what ROR means. And so because Greg chimed in, thankfully, the judge reviewed the paperwork for like literally 10 more seconds and was like, oh, yep, ROR, release on your own recognizance. Bail not set at $50,000 or whatever. I'm like, okay. Still have no idea what's going on, but he looks relieved. And I go in, same thing happens for me, and he still set the bail at $50,000 and then said the ROR thing. So it was terrifying. And at that point, I realized, okay, so I'm not going to jail, but I'm in a city where I don't know anyone, I don't have my phone, I don't have a car, I don't know how to get home. I was given one phone call, and at that point in 2007, you could not dial cell phones. You could only call landlines. So I knew 2 landlines, and I was only allowed to make 1 call. So I called my grandparents, and I had to tell my grandfather that I was arrested and needed to be picked up at Central Booking. And that hurt. That hurt my pride. I was pretty freaking hysterical. And so hysterical that he hung up on me because he thought I was a prank caller. So I then used Greg's call to call my grandfather again and be like, Pap, this is Megan. I need you to have my mom go to York County Courthouse. I've been arrested. Sucked. I am so grateful that I got to redeem myself in his eyes and he got to see me come full circle. Still not a proud moment. So there's still a good chunk of time from that moment when I called and us getting arrested. And I had no idea if my mom was coming, if she got that message. Like, that's all I could do is call my pap and hope that he got the message to my mom. And I didn't know what time we were going to be released. I didn't even honestly know where Central Booking was. And it was just a mess. So at that point, I'm starting to get pretty dang sick. You know, it's the next day. I hadn't used in quite a while, over 12 hours at this point, and that was long enough. I remember when we finally got released, they just kind of gave us all of our stuff and kicked us out and put us, like, we were out on the street, and I'm like, now what do I do? Like, I don't have a phone, I don't have anything. And I just sat there. I went back inside to the place where they give you your license to carry, and your permit to conceal to carry, whatever it's called, your gun thing. And I was like, can I borrow your phone and call my mom? And they let me call again. I got in touch with her, and she said where she was and how soon she'd be there. So at that point, I should have come clean, right? Like, I got arrested for selling drugs. What else could I have said to my mom? Well, I lied. I didn't want to. I don't know why I didn't tell the truth. I guess there's many reasons, but instead of coming clean and asking for help, I said that they sold the drugs while we were away, which is partially true. I mean, it's not a complete lie, but I failed to admit the fact that I was also a heroin addict and that I was selling to supplement my addiction and that I was addicted. She drove us back to town, dropped us off at our apartment. Greg and I were not in a good place, and I don't remember. He dipped out for a little. I remember we later met up with my mom, and that evening, in fact, and I still had not used. I'd been with her all day, and I was like looking her in the eyes, adamantly being like, Mom, I'm not addicted to heroin. Fully dope sick. Like, I know my pupils had to have been huge, and I just wouldn't let her help me. I refuse to ask for help. We want to see the best in our loved ones, you know? We want to believe that they're okay and that they're doing the right thing and that they know we'll be there for them if they need help. But when we're in our active addiction, it's like, I can't tell them that I've been using. They'll be so mad at me. They'll be so upset. They'll be so disappointed. Dude, they'll be so upset and so disappointed and so heartbroken if you die. If you go to prison for the rest of your life. If you go to prison for any amount of time or jail. They'll be more upset about that than you coming clean and being like, I'm addicted. I'm an addict. I promise. And if that's not the case, there are plenty of people out there that are willing to be your family to treat you and love you like that. I promise. So you would think that I should have came clean, but I didn't. I denied. And I had been only snorting dope at that point, but that was all going to change. At that point, I felt like my life was over. Greg and I pretty much agreed that that was it. You know, we were done for the rest of our lives. There was no rebuilding after this. There was no coming back from these felonies. There was just nothing left after this. So we said, fuck it. And the one thing that we said we would never do, we did. We were desperate. We didn't have money. We, went from having like grams each every day, hundreds of dollars, just like, it's just rotating, you know what I mean? Like, it just paid for itself, and all of it was gone. And I had no connections, no friends, no money, no hope. Meant we gave up. We gave up. That's when we started injecting, and things quickly spiraled out of control from there. And I'm going to go into more detail in a future video a little bit about how quickly it spiraled. I want to talk about the first time I saw someone overdose. I want to talk about like the daily routine of an addict, because it was mind-blowing what I did every day, honestly, just to survive. But I'm so grateful that I'm not in that life anymore, and I'm sharing these stories in an attempt to break the stigma. I am a normal person, just like anybody else. I wake up, go to work, come home, feed my kid, get a bath, go to sleep. You know what I mean? I'm just a girl with a camera sharing my story. And I want to share it so that maybe someone else that's in my shoes doesn't feel so alone or so idiotic, because we are. We made bad choices. I made lots of bad choices, but I've come back from them, and you can too. So if you're in active addiction, please reach out. I swear that your family wants you alive and healthy way more than they want to be mad at you. And like I said, if that's not the case, if they will only be mad at you and it'll, disown you or whatever, I promise there are people out there that will want to love you like you're their family. Also, you might not feel like this right now, but someone loves you more than you know and will miss you so much. I've lost a lot of friends in the recent years. My best friend died on August 10th, and I will do whatever I can to advocate for recovery and just let you guys know that recovery is possible. That's all I have for today's video though, guys. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to go join me on Patreon. I have 3 tiers. The cheapest one is $1, and you get to vote on my next video. You can help me pick what story time I share next, and it would be super cool, and I'd appreciate it. And also, don't forget to go to my website and look for the corresponding blog post, because your girl is becoming more professional. 2020 is going to be all about consistency over intensity. Mark my words. Bye, guys.